Next, I'm gonna point out some quite interesting things about the way the internet evolved during the last 20 years since it started happening in the 90s. Um, in the beginning of web programming, um, it was the way web pages are created was quite similar to the way a book is assembled or written. So when in 1995, if we had an example web page with like 5,000 videos to watch on this page, the guy who did the coding or programmed this page would have to set up 5,000 single file documents on the server resembling one page per file. You can think of this like storing a Word document. You would just have to create one single document for all the web pages you wanted to have on the site. Now, this is something that is not done any longer. This connection between if I have one web page, I need to have one file to create that, is not longer in use. The way it works nowadays is really not any longer comparable to assembling a book or creating single files. What happens nowadays is the page you are looking at when browsing a web page does not have a hard saved file on a server somewhere, but the server will create the page the moment you visit it. If we try to imagine this happening with a real book, that would mean your book only contains one page and there is nothing on it until the moment you open your book, and then the text appears. And the moment you flip the page, the old page turns blank again and it appears the page you just turned to. It wouldn't work with paper. It's just the difference between what it was like 10 years ago and nowadays. So while there were many, many hard written files on the server 10 years ago, it might be that there's only one script telling the server what to do the moment a page is called, and the server will print out the page it's going to show you while you just click on a certain link or something. So this is really a major difference. Maybe you're wondering what's the sense of creating a single page for everyone who visits a website. There's certain advantages this technique has, and I'm just gonna point out what the advantages are. One major advantage for the development of a web page is, imagine again our example website creator in 1995 with his 5,000 video pages. One morning he has the idea, okay, my logo I have in the top right corner, I need to change that. It doesn't look good. In 1995, he would have to open his 5,000 web page documents and change the code resembling the logo picture in 5,000 documents manually by hand. Of course, this is crazy to do. It's a lot of work. If you create the pages the moment the visitor shows up, all you need to change is the instruction used by the server to print the page. So you only need to change one file now and tell it, okay, the next time you serve a page, please put another picture as the logo. And you'll be done with that in a minute as the coder. And with 1 minute work, you can change the logo on millions of web pages. You could change the Facebook logo in 1 minute, and billions of people visiting Facebook will see the new logo within 2 minutes. Okay, so this is something that really makes things easy as far as design and really general look of a page is concerned. Okay, the second advantage of this on-the-fly creation of the page is what is called personalization. That means before printing the page you're going to see, there's some crazy stuff going on the server, and it can actually, based on what is known about you, the visitor, add or remove different parts of the text to give you a better user experience. If you wanted to prepare that in single files, you would have to store a file for any user who might visit the page. If you create the page on the fly, like it's done, you can just add some special content that's related to the person watching this page while you print it out. So this is something. This is a second advantage you have when with waiting till the second you really need a page. And there's a third thing that's a really big advantage of creating these pages on the fly. Again, comparing, in 1995, our video page owner was in the same position of a book author. We had the author on one side who created the content and wrote the pages, and we had the audience on the other side who could only consume the finished product which the author had put online. And the dramatic change that happened, which people refer to as the Web 2.0, you might have heard about that, is the moment where it was possible to not only have this kind of one-way communication from the author to the crowd, but where the people that were before only able to watch or to read were suddenly capable of adding their own content, their own texts or video or a comment or whatever to web pages. So that kind of ended the area of one-way communication, and people started communicating both ways. That would be like having a book that's open for anyone to add a page to it. This is the way our modern day websites like Facebook and YouTube and all these kinds of formats, they're based on the concept of people being able to add to the website without knowing any code. If, again, our video page 10 years ago, if they would have wanted to have their members add video, they would have needed a worker capable of coding who would receive the video and build a page for the video, store it on the server, and then it would have come available. And this would have happened anytime somebody sent in a video or somebody sent in a comment. You would have always needed somebody coding that into a hard file, which is insane to think about if you think about YouTube and how much content is up there. It's just too expensive to have a human being sitting there coding pages for what people send in. So the revolution of the Web 2.0 really is about content being created by people who don't know how to code, but who were then able to create web content without that knowledge. And this is also something that is related to this change in technical things in the last 10 years. So to sum that up again, while we had single document entities for each page like 10 years ago, we are now working with a kind of printing template mechanism that can combine the things that are displayed on each of the pages and the unique content of the page that is only displayed on that particular page. And by using this kind of combination thing, we're saving ourselves a whole lot of work. maybe it's good to say a little more about this distinction between the content and the printing template. Printing template is a term related to book printing. What I would call this in the web context is basically the interface. That's the interface. What is common on all kinds of pages is the interface, and what's unique about the single page is the content. To demonstrate that to you, we'll just have a look at a YouTube page for just 1 second. Hold on.